Today we are going to begin our sketchbooks. First we have to design the cover of our sketchbook. We're going to need a variety of different materials. We're going to need stencils. Each table will have a bunch of different stencils. We are going to need a piece of watercolor paper, and you can tell that it's watercolor paper because it's nice and thick. Okay, it has a textured side and a smooth side. We are going to need a bone tool, which is going to help us fold the paper, a pencil, and a fine point Sharpie. Always make sure you read the Sharpies to make sure you have fine point or ultra fine point. In this case, we're going to use a fine point Sharpie. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take our paper and we're going to be doing a hamburger fold. A hamburger fold is short end to short end. A hot dog fold would be long end to long end. We're going to match up the corners like this. What you do is you hold this side, drag your hands down here, and then lightly fold it. Then you're to use the bone tool, and you use this side of the bone tool on the side of the paper and crease. And just rub it on the side and you get a nice, clean, crisp fold. Okay, now we're ready to start drawing. On our covers, we are going to be doing two different things. We have to create a symmetrical cover, including patterns. So, symmetrical means it's the same on both sides. So what you do on one side, you have to do on the other. You can create your picture, you can make it symmetrical any way you want. You can make it symmetrical this way. You can make it symmetrical from the top and bottom, or you can make it symmetrical diagonal. So you choose which diagonal or which symmetrical way you would like to do it. In my case, I'm going to make mine symmetrical right down the center of the paper. So what I do to one side, I have to do to the other. So for instance, I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to measure halfway through the center. So this is 9 inches, so I'm going to measure at 4.5. And I'm going to draw a line straight down the center. And you want to always draw very, very lightly. Now what I do on one side, you have to do on the other. You are going to incorporate your hands to do this. So if I put my hand this way, and maybe I want my hand to be traced on my sketchbook here, I have to put it this way so that it would be symmetrical. I couldn't put my hand here and then my hand down here. This would not be the same on both sides. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pencil, and you can draw your hand any way you want. So if you don't want to do it from the side, you could obviously do your hands from the bottom. You could do your hands from the top. You could put them up here. You could put them wherever you want. And then this hand. Now this might be difficult for you because you're tracing or using your opposite hand. You may have somebody at your table help you do this step. After you get your hands down, you can fix them up, make sure that they're nice and crisp. Okay, once you have your hands down on the paper, then you have to put your name. Your name is the only thing that's going to be on this sketchbook that is not symmetrical, and that is okay. It is the only thing. I'm going to put it in one of my hands, okay, because you're not going to do anything to your hands. Your hands are going to stay empty. Now you can create patterns behind here. A pattern is something that repeats itself more than one time. So this is where you're going to start to use your stencils. Remember, what you do on one side, you have to do on the other. So I could take this space and maybe I divide it in half. I'm going to do polka dots and polka dots. So if I do a polka dot here, I have to do a polka dot here. I could do a polka dot in the center because it's actually on both sides of the paper. If I do a polka dot here, I've got to do a polka dot here. See how it is symmetrical? Maybe over here I would like to divide another space down here. Okay, and for this I would like to use triangles. I maybe do a triangle here, a triangle here. Maybe I want a triangle going off the page. I'm going to do one off the page. You're also going to work behind here. Maybe I want, let me see. I think I'm going to get the stars. I have some stars. Okay, so maybe I'm going to do a star right in the center. I'm going to actually just take this, and you want to make sure your stars Stars are one of those things where you got to make sure it's symmetrical, so you got to make sure it's on the point here. And then I'm going to take 2 stars. I'll put one here and one here. I'm going to put some stars here, so I'm going to do some bigger ones, but I'm going to have these overlap. So when I want to overlap, I'm not going to go through my hand. I'm going to keep it behind my hand. And then I'm going to put the symmetrical over here. So notice that this is called overlapping, when your one thing goes behind it. So after your whole sketchbook has patterns on it and everything is symmetrical, you're going to take your fine point Sharpie and you are going to trace over all of your pencil lines. Make sure that you're tracing very nice and neat. Okay, you want to trace your lines, you want to take your time and really get down all of the things that you have just created. If you have any questions, please ask Miss Ford.